Even though the nations of the Greek kingdom paganized his word, which was originally written in the language of Ge'ez, by creating a bunch of different Abrahamic religions, which are meant to lead you away from the God of Israel, and even though the Greek kingdom implanted their pagan churches within his empire centuries before the crowning of the God of Israel, he still made it known to his empire that above all, they should follow the Ten Commandments, because that's what he does. In other words, he's telling you to not pray to Jesus, Buddha, Allah, or any other God except the God of Israel. And who is the God of Israel? Jacob himself. And don't forget, the root of David is Jacob. So let's read. This is a generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, Jacob, Selah. In other words, Jacob is God, Selah. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. So you're looking at the Lord God who is mighty in battle. So let's read. It was in these circumstances that the emperor struck first. Never perhaps has his personal courage been more clearly demonstrated than in this frontal attack against the enemy already flushed with easy victory, an enemy infinitely best armed, organized, and equipped. He has decided perhaps that he must either fight or make good his retreat without delay. His generals were men of old school who knew no other methods of warfare than mass attack, and who were scornful of guerrilla tactics and confident of their ability to fight. However, that may be, this decisive action of the war was opened on the Ethiopian initiative, and in the emperor himself took an active part, firing a machine gun for 2 days without sleep. In other words, he is mighty in battle. Who is this king? Mighty, the Lord, mighty in battle. King of glory, the Lord of hosts. He is Selah, Haile Selassie the first. So listen to what he says. Pay attention.
And also for peaceful life upon earth. I'll also tell him to learn and to think for himself the ways he would serve the Lord. In this thought and in this undertaking of his, he will inevitably find a way of serving his fellow men. For his faith would then be manifested by his conduct. If Christians behave in this way, if we dedicate ourselves to this continental task, then we will have a peaceful world and will be assured of not transgressing against the will and the commandments of God.
The will and the commandment of God. In other words, he follows the God of Israel, who gave out the commandments. So listen what he has to say.
On this occasion, I address also all those within our empire. Our Christianity is not restricted to a given church, and I stress above all that we do not wish to make distinctions. My advice to all is to fulfill the Ten Commandments. You are aware of the contents of the Ten Commandments and can elaborate on it.
So what is the first commandment? Follow the God of Israel, the one who led us out of Egypt. In other words, it's not Jesus, it's not Allah, it's not Buddha, it's the God of Israel.
If the nation for which I am the emperor follows and accepts this, since it's also what I accept and follow.
Let's repeat it again. What does he accept and follow? The God of Israel, the one who gave out the commandments.
All is to fulfill the Ten Commandments. You are aware of the contents of the Ten Commandments and can elaborate on it. If the nation for which I am the emperor follows and accepts this, since it's also what I accept and follow.
Also what I accept and follow. And who is he?
He became emperor on November 2nd, 1930, and was crowned Haile Selassie I, King of Kings, King of Zion, conquering lion of the seed of Judah, power of the Trinity.
Abraham,
Your
Isaac,
Imperial Majesty, you
Jacob.
were 39 years old when you were crowned in 1930.
Yes.
Could you talk a bit about